Is your website accidentally attracting bargain hunters instead of premium clients? Here's a truth. Your website might be sending budget friendly signals without you even realizing it. Today, I want to talk about 7 common website mistakes that really could be repelling your ideal high paying clients. If you've ever had a potential client inquiry balk at your prices or constantly try to negotiate your rates down, then this episode is for you. Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B., web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. Hello, welcome to the podcast. I'm excited to have you here. I've been doing some peeking at my analytics of the show, and I found that you really enjoy episodes where I share with you uh, like like website mistakes or ways to make your website better, lists and tips and tricks. And so this is where today's episode came from. And I love sharing things that you can do and pieces of the puzzle that you might not know about because you're not a website designer, but that I can share with you and that makes sense. And in turn, you can make some changes to your website that you can really see and get good results from. A quick intro, if we haven't already met. My name is Jenny. I own Jenny B Designs, and we are a brand and web design studio. And my passion is helping small business owners just like you design websites that truly reflect their unique brand personality, bring out who they are, the essence of them, and attract their ideal clients, high paying clients, and make them money. Because, in my perspective, if your website isn't making money, it's not working for you. That's a little bit about me. If you want to find out more, you can head over to jennybdesigns.com, and I have lots of resources and ways that I can help you. So let's get into the episode. Today we are talking about those 7 website mistakes that are attracting the wrong ideal client, the non-ideal client. The first one is having generic visuals and stock photos. This is probably the fastest way upon landing on someone's website to scream budget business to potential clients. I want you to think about all those luxury brands, those fancy Gucci's and Chanel's and all of those high class fashion websites. They are not using obvious stock photos because they understand that generic visuals signal generic value. They have a luxury audience, and therefore their visuals represent that. What do I mean by budget friendly visuals? I'm talking about those free stock photos that everyone sees. You could probably think of them. When I think of a stock photo, I see the generic team sitting around a conference table with a woman standing up and pointing to some kind of presentation on the screen. That is what I see as a stock photo. You also see stock photos that a lot of people have. You go to someone's website and then you go to the next person's website and you see them across the board. They could also be blurry or poorly lit images, things that don't actually look that luxury. And as well, this could show up as inconsistent styles across your pages. For example, if you used a stock photo from one place on the home page and then you used another one on the about page, but they have a totally different look and feel, that's an inconsistent visual style. And the final way you might see this is possibly that headshot that you took on your iPhone like 5 or 6 years ago. It just keeps showing up on your website, or even the picture that you had from a party that you went to that you use as your headshot. That is what I mean by a generic visual or a stock photo. How do we fix it? The fix is invest in some professional brand photography. And I say lifestyle brand photography because there is a difference between taking headshots and having some lifestyle brand photos taken of you. You can do this with a professional photographer either as a full session, or a lot of them offer mini sessions, which is a wonderful way to kind of dip your toes into getting a few professional photos taken for your brand without having to spend a whole lot of time and effort putting together an entire photo shoot just for yourself. You can also think about creating some custom graphics that align with your brand. A lot of graphic designers are able to create something for you, and it gives that extra touch and emotional connection with your visitors. And it signals to your potential client that you're not just an everyday run of the mill website. You have invested that level of professionalism into your brand. Encourage when you're thinking about photos and having that brand photo session taken, use photos of you as you're working. For example, for me, I work a lot virtually and I work at a computer. I've had photo shoots taken where I am in front of a computer, or I'm sitting in my chair, or I have my podcasting mic and I take some pictures there. Think about, where do you do your work and how can a photographer capture that? If you're out on a job site or if you're out in the world and that's where you're working, consider bringing a photographer along with you and having some pictures taken there. Think about those experiences, that experience of working with you. What does that mean? How can you translate that into imagery? And also, I love some behind the scenes content. There's actually a video of me creating a website on my website, and you can see me typing away, creating someone's homepage. And I put that on my website because it's kind of that behind the scenes content. It is not your average, everyday stock photo, stock video. It's specific to me, it's branded to me, and it has that glimpse, that behind the scenes that people are really connected to. Remember, every stock photo that you have on your website really is that missed opportunity to build that trust and to showcase your unique value and your unique brand. Now, the second mistake that's really attracting bargain hunters is about your pricing, having unclear or even like apologetic pricing. The unclear, or actually not even having it, is a big one. I see it all the time. Budget friendly pricing, it looks like this. You have a page with your services, and below your services, it says contact for pricing because you're afraid to show your rates. It shows up in highlighting your lowest priced offers first. Perhaps you have a few different packages. You like to showcase your lowest offers first. When you do that, you're kind of tethering, you're I don't know what the word is. You're kind of grounding everyone with your lowest price offer there. And you want to make sure that you're showing all your offers, maybe even highlighting your most popular offer, which most likely isn't your lowest price offer. Having apologetic language around your fees, not being strong and understanding your investment, focusing on pricing instead of value. This shows up, for example, for me, if I'm creating someone's website, I'm sharing deliverables. If I am sharing deliverables instead of benefits, which is what I shouldn't be doing. But if I were sharing deliverables, it would say a 4-page website. And then it would say, I have a branded link in bio page for you. And I'm putting a pricing like $100. That's worth $100. Then I do a freebie landing page and I put another price, $100. And then I do a custom contact form for you, and that's $50. When you're focused on price instead of the value, you're really attracting that budget client. You want to share your package or your service, but talk about the benefits, not the features, and have an investment there. It's so true. When you're vague about your pricing or you lead with your cheapest option, you are attracting those clients who are focused on the cost rather than the value. It's like if you went to a luxury car dealership and if they were saying, you can get this car with like 7 affordable payments, it sends the wrong message to the wrong audience. You don't want to ever say affordable. You are an investment. And perhaps you are not a large investment, but it's an investment. You want people to feel as though they are excited to work with you. They're going to get a tremendous value. They're not just bargain hunters getting the best option possible. How do you fix this? Look at your pricing page, your services page. Lead with your premium offers or the ones that are most popular. Don't lead with the smallest offer. Frame your pricing as an investment. Like I said, it's an investment to work with you. And make sure you have an investment. Probably should have said this first. I see this all the time, and there's a big debate. Should you list your prices? Should you not? I am in the camp that you should absolutely have your prices listed on your website. It just has so much to do with transparency. It's important to be transparent, to be honest, to share with people what they can expect. And so that you're not wasting people's time. Because if you don't have your pricing there, one of two things can happen. Someone can think, oh, yeah, they're way too expensive for me. They're not going to send an inquiry. Or they can think, oh, yeah, this probably isn't that much. And they send an inquiry, and you've got those kind of people who are looking for those bargains out there. And when you are on a phone call and both of you are investing your time, and then you get to the pricing part, and someone isn't able to come up with the investment it is to work with you, you've wasted everyone's time. I think it's so important to be transparent, and having your pricing on your website is an important piece of that. And if you don't want to do the exact pricing, or you perhaps do some proposals very specific per project, then have a starting at or a typical investment is. So people can just understand where they are starting and where you are coming from. And think about including social proof that really justifies the investment that you have working with you. Remember, your pricing, it really tells your clients if you're confident in your value. You need to get this right. Number three is poor user experience, and nothing says budget business quite like a confusing or frustrating website experience. This mistake shows up if your site has overwhelming navigation. You've got too many options up at the top of your website. You have cluttered pages that are trying to kind of say it all at once. And I know this is a big struggle because we want to tell everyone all the things, but we want to make sure that our pages aren't cluttered. There's, of course, the slow loading times that really test people's patience when you get to a website. How long does it actually take for it to load? And a mobile experience that sometimes feels like an afterthought. When you're visiting someone's mobile, it doesn't actually feel like it makes sense and it's not intuitive. There's no clear path for visitors to take, and there are no actions for them to take, calls to action, like I said. This is a poor user experience. When someone is thinking about a luxury shopping experience, they want it to be seamless, they want it to be intuitive, and they want to feel valued. Your website should make them feel that way. I had a client who came to me, and she had a homepage that had like all the things, like everything that you could actually think of: services, pricing, testimonials, blog posts, freebies. It went on and on and on, and it had so much information. And when we looked at her analytics, people were actually coming to her homepage, and then that's it. They were dropping off. It's called bouncing. They were leaving because they didn't know where to go. They were overwhelmed and they left. And when we built her a new website, we made sure that her homepage had some of the things to give you kind of a taste of what you wanted to happen. But the bulk of her information was, of course, on her services page, and we built out a beautiful about page so that people can continue on their journey to learn more about her business, but they aren't overwhelmed when they get to her homepage. How can you go about fixing this on your website? Simplify your navigation. 5 items or less. Make it really clear. Gosh, there's nothing better than getting to a website that has like 2 options in the hero. It's amazing. Simplify that navigation so that we have a clear and intentional path for our users to go on. Look at your loading time, make sure that everything is coming up fast, and design for mobile. And sometimes design for mobile first. It's really interesting to find out, if you look at your Google Analytics, how many people who are coming to your website from desktop versus mobile. Because when someone comes to your website on desktop, they're kind of in it for the experience. They want to see something beautiful. They want to be wowed. You've got bells and whistles and animations and things happening. And that's a beautiful user journey on a desktop. But when someone comes to your website on mobile, they don't want the same. On your phone, you just want to find out what you want to find out and make it happen, get it done. I like to tailor my clients' mobile design and make it a little bit more snappy. Take away some of the imagery, take away some of the animation, and just give them what they need to know, because they are most likely in a rush and they want to make things happen. And ensure that you have calls to action and buttons, and every click has a purpose. High-end clients, they value their time, and if your website wastes it, they will assume that working with you will do that as well. Number 4, weak social proof. This is a huge trust killer on your website. It shows up as generic testimonials without specific results, such as, Jenny was great, my website looks good, things like that, without specific results. You don't have case studies on your website. There's no real evidence of any client transformation, no before and after. There are mentions of success without numbers, data. We all like to see data. And there's just basic, thank yous, basic, yeah, this was great, instead of the results focused stories. When a potential high paying client sees a basic testimonial like Jenny was great to work with, they assume basic results. And these premium clients, they want to see transformations and specific outcomes. If they read, Jenny was able to build my website in 4 weeks, and since launching, I've gotten 3 new inquiries in the last 24 hours. Wow, that's like that. That is some results, specific outcomes, transformation. That's what people want to see. How do you fix this? Look at your case studies. If you don't have case studies, think about adding some. Case studies are a great way to add some content to your blog that kind of does double duty. It's on your blog, but it's also your portfolio. You can share it on your services page. And when you create these detailed case studies, you can include before and after scenarios. You can include specific results and numbers. You can include those testimonials that are both in the case study, but also just appear on your website. And think about including video testimonials. I love a good video. Nothing is more social proof building than a video. When someone presses play and they see someone else talking about their experience working with this service provider they're looking into, that does so much for your trust and your credibility. And also consider adding industry recognition if you got awards, press, or if you've been certified. I work with a number of accountants. They have been certified by QuickBooks. So they have that badge, that QuickBooks badge in their footer or on their website. Think about ways that you can do that. Because those premium clients aren't just buying your service, they are buying those proven results. Okay, number 5, DIY design elements that scream, I'm not ready for you. I'm not ready for the premium client. I'm just getting started. This, you can be guilty of it if you have a basic template that everyone recognizes. There's that standard, I see this a lot on Squarespace, that standard Squarespace template that everyone has. Or if you have a WordPress template and it's just very basic and standard. Having mismatched fonts across pages, not being consistent with your branding or your font or your colors. You have different colors on different pages and it's not a cohesive look and feel throughout. Maybe you have the graphics or icons that came with the template and they just kind of look like not very exciting, more generic. Or it looks like a design that you pieced together over time. You got a template, you did some work, you changed your business a little bit, you went back in, you did more work, but you can tell what was before, what was after. It's so true that these premium clients, they can spot a DIY design immediately. Going back to my previous example, it's like having a knockoff for one of those quality bags, those purses that we talked about earlier when you go into that high-end designer store. I want to preface this by saying there's no harm in starting off with a template. And I think it's a great way to start. If you're just starting a business, you're getting your feet wet in your business, you're learning how you're going to work, and you need a website presence and you're not able to invest in a website, that is absolutely fine. But there comes a time when you need to be ready to invest in your business. Going back to that investment piece, build a website that truly reflects your business as it is today and attracts the type of client that you are ready to work with. How can you go about fixing this? If you want to fix it yourself, look at your website, go look at your typography, making sure the fonts are all the same. If you're using consistent brand elements and colors, you can make that quick fix. Go throughout and see if you have, like I said, someone started their website and then they updated it, but you can tell the two sides don't match. Maintain that design quality throughout all your pages. And consider using custom graphics or icons. If you're just using those standard icons with your template, you can get some custom ones, pop those in. It can make a real difference. And, the last fix that you can do is work with someone like me, a website designer, to build you a professional strategic design that really reflects who you are today and attracts those high-paying clients. Your website design isn't just about looking pretty, it's about signaling your professional value. Okay, number 6. This is about your contact process. An ineffective contact process, it invites those people who are possibly there and are going to waste your time. And here's how it shows up on your website. A basic contact us form, just a name and email. You say, hey, fill this out, name, email, send it to me. There's no pre-qualification questions. I'm not saying you need 10 questions because that would be too much, but asking what service they're interested in or anything about their business that might better qualify them to working with you. Not having a next step information. What happens when they fill out the form? They fill out the form and then that's it. They're stuck on the same page. Nothing changed. It doesn't say we'll get back to you in 24 hours or anything like that. Not having those next steps. There's zero automation in your follow up. Now, this is hard, but I'm a huge proponent of automation. CRMs are amazing for automation. And if not, having a way that someone gets an email when they fill out your form right away to share with them, I got your form and this is what's going to happen. Think about how you can automate your follow up and then making people figure out how to work with you. And this just goes back to everything that I talk about, not having a clear call to action and driving people to take that action, not knowing how to contact you. A lot of times when clients come to me, they just have a basic contact form. And I talk a lot on our strategy call about what do we want people to do when they get in contact with you? What is the sales process behind the scenes? I want to know what systems you're using, what applications, how do you funnel people through your system, and what can we make easier? What can we automate and make the website do the hard work for? How do you go about fixing this? Create that high-end inquiry experience. Add those strategic qualification questions on your form. Not too many, but just a couple. Can you implement an automated follow-up? Do you have a CRM? Can you embed that CRM form into that page? Or create a way that you can send an email that goes out when someone sends an automated an inquiry. Set clear expectations. Tell people what that's going to happen when they fill out the form and make it sure that they know it is super, super clear. Remember, your contact form is your first chance to really demonstrate how you value your time and how your client should value it too. You want to make sure that it is a premium experience. And then the final mistake that I see is the value communication gaps. They leave your premium clients kind of guessing about your true worth. And let's break this down a little bit. What is this? It's looking at the words on your website and focusing on what you do instead of the transformation. And I mentioned this in the pricing section, having the features instead of the benefits. You don't want to talk about what you do. You want to talk about how you help change someone's life, how you can solve their problem. Listing the features without explaining the benefits. You want to make sure that you're always sharing how this is going to benefit them because people want to know how you're going to make their life better. Not having authority, a weak authority positioning, not having anything that shares your thought leadership, perhaps blog posts, perhaps a podcast, or having that, like I mentioned before, having social proof, talking about your authority, and failing to showcase your expertise. You want to always showcase this. This comes out in the case studies, in the social proof, in talking about how you work with clients and the changes, the transformations that you can make in their lives. How do you go about fixing this? I want you to lead with these transformation stories, these case studies. Talk about how you make your client's life better. Connect the features to the specific benefits. Showcase your unique methodology. I have a signature money-making website design process. I talk about that. You probably have a signature process as well. Showcase that. That builds your authority and demonstrates your thought leadership. Remember, these premium clients, they don't buy services, they buy outcomes and expertise. So let's kind of bring this all together, wrap up with some clear action steps to transform your website from that budget to that premium. You have a choice to make. You can keep signaling those budget clients and attracting these price sensitive people who want to work with you. Or if you position yourself properly, you will attract those ideal clients, those premium clients who value your quality. What you can do this week today, look at your website and check for these 7 mistakes. And then think about which fixes will have the biggest impact. Start there. Look at your visual brand and your value communication. And then look at your contact process because that's a huge one. It starts that relationship out on the right foot if you have a wonderful contact process in place. The cost of these mistakes isn't just in the budget clients you're attracting, it's really the premium clients that you're losing. Every single day your website sends these budget signals, it's another day of leaving money on the table. If you're ready to transform your website into a premium client magnet, let's talk about how we can fix these mistakes together. Book a consultation using a link in the show notes, and I would be honored to help you get this in place and make sure that you are attracting the right clients. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.